Dana K. White is an absolute genius. She has written several books. She has a YouTube channel and a podcast. I think her methods, her strategies, her approach to decluttering is absolutely brilliant. Today, let's talk about 10 decluttering tips from Dana K. White that I personally wish I'd known sooner. This is actually the second installment of this video series. I will have the other video linked here in the cards. Dana talks a lot about using containers to guide you when decluttering. You respect the container, you respect the boundary, and it's really helpful when deciding what to get rid of and what to keep. If you really just look at the space that you have, whether this be an actual bin, basket, or a drawer, or a space in your home, a cupboard. She also says that life is a container. And I was mind blown by this concept. I think it's absolutely genius. Your whole life is comprised of minutes and hours, and you don't have unlimited resources. You don't have unlimited time and energy. So seeing your life as a whole, as a container, and really knowing what the limits are and not going above and beyond that can really help you simplify your life, declutter your schedule, and just kind of free up some of that mental space, physical space, time, and energy that could be causing you stress and bogging you down. When I first began my journey and my house was exceptionally cluttered and full, I really felt like I had to do an absolute night and day transformation. It had to be something so completely overwhelming in volume and magnitude, and that it really stopped me from making any progress at all for years. I didn't realize that progress could be measured in smaller increments. And that is how I, even to this day, recommend that you declutter, is in small chunks of time, taking little tiny baby steps towards a clutter-free space. I wish I had realized that progress is progress no matter what, whether it's 7 hours or 7 minutes. If you're making some kind of movement towards your goal, or you're getting yourself into a better space, it can just be that small amount of time. And that would be honestly my advice to anybody who's feeling overwhelmed right now in this exact moment. Set your timer for 5 minutes, choose a location, and start with trash. That's what Dana would say. Dana actually made a video recently, and it was titled something like, "Should you become a minimalist?" And I was very intrigued by that. She said, no, don't become a minimalist if that completely overwhelms you. Her approach is the less overwhelmed approach. Again, focusing on very, very small wins, small successes, changing things little by little, 1 minute at a time. And I love that she also puts the term minimalism into perspective in that same way. This word comes with some weight. It comes with some expectations, maybe some stereotypes. It comes with some pressure. And I don't feel like it has to, but I absolutely can agree this is how it can make you feel. And I respect, just like she does, that that word sometimes carries with it too much pressure. Whether or not it should, it does. And I think honoring that by saying, forget the word altogether. Don't overwhelm yourself with terminology that carries with it all this weight that can stall you from making progress. Dana K. White has a 5-step process that I think is absolutely incredible for decluttering any space in your house. It's actually in the first video in this installment. Again, I will have that linked in the cards and down below. But her 5-step process, she also applies to cleaning. So step 1 is to remove any garbage. So let's say you're standing in the kitchen. It's an overwhelming mess, and you're not like, I'm gonna declutter right now. You just need to clean up. And it's really overwhelming and you feel like, I don't even know where to start. She's gonna tell you to start with trash. Step 2, she's gonna say, look for the easy stuff. Anything that can be relocated in other parts of the house, you're going to take it there right now. In addition to that, what is something easy that you can clean in the kitchen? She recommends doing the dishes. That's easy. You don't have to sit there and really think, what do I do now? The dishes are obvious. So you're gonna break this cleaning project down just like you would a decluttering session. So now, 30 minutes later, you're standing in a much, much cleaner space, and it becomes more obvious what to do from there. I love the way she recommends decluttering for a move, but I feel like if you're not moving, her strategy is still wonderful and really helpful for decluttering. So she says, when you're decluttering for a move, grab a black trash bag and go around your house and look for things that you maybe once considered a treasure or thought there's no way I'll declutter this. I can see its value. I can see its use. Suddenly, once you think about paying a mover or using, like she says, your own physical muscles to move the item, suddenly the value goes way down, and it might be a lot easier to declutter that item once you realize, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to actually pay to have a mover move this, or I'm gonna have to muscle it into my own car and drive it down to, the new house or whatever, and then deal with it all over again in the new space. And once you have this perspective that it's really going to cost you to keep it, suddenly what was valuable before reveals itself as garbage or a donation. So even if you're not moving, like I said, I think this can be very, very helpful. Dana talks about items that flow through your house on a regular basis and how you can really help yourself make decluttering progress when you recognize items that are actually going to be coming back into your life again. I think, and she also recognizes that a lot of the difficulty in getting rid of stuff is the scarcity concept. I can't get my hands on this again. Will I be able to get this again? Will I be able to find something that does this job? Will I be in a pinch or a bind if I get rid of this item? And I completely understand and respect that. That is one of the things that kept me stuck in my clutter for years and years, and is something I still to this day have to work through very consciously, and it's difficult. So she says, that's hard. That's the hard stuff. And she likes focusing on the easy stuff first, especially again, if you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed. So she said, go through your house and recognize things that flow. Is there a container that you see the use in, like a butter container, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can see a million ways this container can be useful. But will you be buying this butter again? Will this container come back into your life? If for some reason between now and the new container, if there becomes a need or something arises that causes you to think I should never have decluttered that, well, it's coming soon. And so that can really make it easier to get rid of that container. So this, I think, is so smart. Just like going through your house with a trash bag and looking for things that you wouldn't pay to move, look for things that you know are going to show back up again. They're going to pop back up in your life. So it makes those things easier to get rid of because you're not worried that you won't have another chance to get that item back. Dana says, make decluttering easier with pre-made decisions. She knows for a fact that she's not going to reuse tissue paper from gifts. She'll hold on to the bag. She's going to discard the tissue paper. Same thing with socks with holes. So when she comes along or comes across these items, it's automatic and she doesn't have to use any brain power. I love this for myself when it comes to extra appendages that come with tools like blow dryers, curling irons, a blender. I know I never use the attachments. I just don't. It's not worth it for me to hold on to all these extra pieces for a maybe someday or a what if. So let me know in a comment, what is something you absolutely don't keep? You've already pre-made the decision, it comes into your home, and you know for a fact you are going to either throw it out, recycle it, or donate it. I love that she talks about how to break through the it's probably worth something predicament. And oh my gosh, I have been here way more times than I can count, thinking I need to hold on to this item and sell it, especially in the beginning. This is worth something. I can't let this go. Here's the thing, and I think she's correct. She says about 90% of the time, the items that you're thinking you're gonna sell are not worth nearly as much as you think they are. So what you can do is go on eBay and just search the item that you're maybe, if there's something in the back of your mind, you're like, I know this is gonna be valuable. Actually look that item up. See if it is going to sell for what you think it is. I I have often found myself posting things on Facebook Marketplace and thinking, oh my gosh, this is so good. I end up never selling the item. Nobody wants it. And I feel like because it's ours, we put a little bit more value on it just because we own it. And we feel like that kind of gives it value. But somebody else isn't seeing it that way. So don't let this keep you stuck in clutter, feeling like all of this stuff has value. There's such a good chance that it's not worth nearly as much as you think, and it's not worth the hassle. Just declutter it. I'm gonna get into her book, Decluttering at the Speed of Life. She says, my definition of clutter is anything that consistently gets out of control. Sometimes I think it's hard to distinguish what actually is clutter, especially as we see value attached to items. We're overwhelmed and don't know what to do as our first step. We don't know where to start. We just know that things feel messy and we feel stressed. I love that she puts this really practical definition on clutter. Clutter is anything that consistently gets out of control. So you can have cluttered spaces, some cluttered spaces in your house, and other spaces are not cluttered. Focus on the areas that are constantly out of control. These are areas that have too much stuff in them. This is also a good way to help maintain a clutter-free space. If you've already done a lot of decluttering and you just feel like for some reason something's not feeling quite right, I'm still cleaning too often, I'm still stressed, and I still feel frustrated. Go to those areas that are constantly out of control. Of course, I will have Dana's books along with her YouTube channel and podcast linked down below. Thanks for being here today, and I'll see you soon.